In his own words, Jesse Dafton, 34, explained the role that climbing has played in his life, from the family connection to meeting the love of his life and overcoming the odd along the way. I was born with a genetic condition, retinitis pigmentosa, and over the years my eyesight gradually deteriorated. The best way to describe it is like looking through a straw, then cling film being layered over the end. At school, I couldn't read the blackboard, and I had used a big magnifying glass for books. By the time I got to university in Bath to study chemistry, it had got to the point where I couldn't really see images at all, only the difference between light and dark. And a few years later, once I was in the first year of my PhD, I was almost 100% blind. When I was young, I used to get very angry if I encountered something I found difficult or I couldn't do because of my eyes. I started climbing when I was young. My dad took me up my first rock route when I was 2. All my early climbing was outdoor traditional climbing and bouldering in Fontainebleau, France. My dad had been in the mountain rescue and was a part of the mountaineering club, so we would go for weekends away climbing throughout the UK. At university, I joined the mountaineering club and was able to climb much more frequently. We had regular trips to indoor walls and weekends away outdoors. I developed a great circle of climbing friends and went on multiple trips to Europe. On these, I started alpine climbing and ice climbing too. But when my sight dropped to a level where I could no longer read, it starts to be difficult to place gear as I couldn't see whether it was properly seated. I also stopped being able to pick out the holes at indoor walls. There was a time when I thought I might have to give up leading as my eyesight got worse, but I never thought I would stop climbing. I just learned to adapt with the support of my friends. I met my wife Molly at climbing club during Freshers Week, though we didn't climb together very much because we were both very experienced, so we normally partnered up with those who hadn't done as much as we had. We were just friends at first, but eventually romance blossomed. I actually proposed to her in 2017 on a climbing trip to the Greenland. It was my most ambitious trip yet, camping in temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius and climbing the first ascent of 2 previously unclimbed mountains, which I believe is a first for a blind climber. Neither Molly nor I are jewelry people, so I didn't have any engagement ring. Also, when you go on expeditions, all your kit is scrutinized by every member on the party, so it would probably have been found and spoiled the surprise, and I might have lost it. In the end, I went down on my knee with an injured finger ring from our first aid kit. She said yes, but then I stumbled and somehow dropped the ring, so it's still there in the Greenland. The things that hurts most as I have lost my sight is not being able to see Molly's face anymore. That's what I'm missing. There is a photo from when we went to the Alps of her with a pair of sunglasses on. That's my mental image of her. Molly was my climbing partner last year when I finally fulfilled my ambition to tackle the Old Man of Hoy, a famous 137 meters, 450 feet, sea stuck in the Orkney Isles. This was the most adventurous rock route I have done. It was truly epic. It was an iconic route. It isn't easy. That's why we do it. You do it because it's hard. You do it for the challenge. You want the satisfaction. And you don't get that unless there is a chance of failure. The climb itself was only the half of the story. It started with the wild camping, then an hour's walk to the headland, followed by a tricky descent on treacherous grass, slopes, and then the scramble across to the base. And lastly, the hour-long walk back to the tents, reaching my sleeping bag at 2:45 a.m. with the sun threatening to rise again. It was such an amazing day, unreal. When I reached the top of the climb, I don't get to appreciate the view, but the feeling of accomplishment is incredible. There are many different challenges to climbing. There is the strength element, Am I physically strong enough to pull up off this small hole? And then the technique and the skill element. Have I minimized the risk? If you get it wrong, you can pull up the ropes through. And of course, there is also the mental side, where you are constantly thinking things like it's 10 meters since I have placed my last piece of gear. So if I fall off here, I'm probably going to the hospital. Let's try not to freak out. You have to do all these things at the same time. It is the ultimate test of your brain and your body, and I love it. Doing that climb was a testament to the outlook I have always had, which is that I'm not disabled, I'm blind, and able. I'm lucky because at our house in Loughborough we have a garage with a climbing training kit in it. So even I lock down, I can still get out some practice, but I can't wait to get back out for my next climbing adventure.